Batgirl, issue 15, legacy number 220, Tate BROMBAL writing with Stephen Segovia on the art. So this is largely Cass confronting Nyssa about what really happened. You know, if they took this place by force. Nyssa kind of explains that, well, they did, but it was like her father did it, and she was just kind of there, and maybe in the retellings of these stories, like they've painted her as like, you know, but she's like, I never actually, you know, no blood was ever, you know, on my blade. I never actually attacked anyone. Raz kind of did it by surprise, but she obviously was sort of associated with him, whatever. I will say, I am kind of looking forward to this arc being done now, because while I'm still really into Cass as a character and like what she's like going through, and her brother as well, to be fair, I like their like little tiff where she kind of like says, "Oh, you'll get away from me. You're not like me," kind of thing. At this point, I am kind of losing a little bit of track and focus on like the conflict here between like the, you know, the Unburied and Nyssa's group, and who did what when that led to this. Like, you know, there's been so much like going back and forth, and because this issue also ends with a reveal that Jaya, who's one of the several characters in this group that have been here for a few issues now, is betrayed them and is working with the Unburied, even though it feels like Nyssa also says something like, no, everything's going to plan, as if this was always like intended to happen. I kind of found myself getting towards the end, and then especially once that ending hit, going like, I don't know if I'm that like invested in the plot of this arc anymore that much. But I'm still liking Cass a lot.
There's so many twists and turns. I don't care about the plot. I care about what happens to Cass.
Yes.
And now, to a lesser extent, Tenji. Right? Because I do like their bond. I like the whole brother-sister dynamic and the whole idea that because they get into it a little bit here, that it's almost like when she became a mother the first time, Lady Shiva, and that weakness was put into her because of her daughter, she chose that when it came to dealing with Tenji, she wasn't going to have that same kind of weakness, right? So that's why she would keep things at a distance with him. She would still show up and visit, and he had this idea of what he thought about his mom or whatever. So I do like their dynamic then and how that makes them, you know, bonded. By they're like, hey, we kind of had crappy parents. Well, not his dad, but you know, she did growing up. But that's not who we are. We get to choose who we get to be, and I like that. That's kind of who Cass still is going with. The rest of all the characters and the betrayal, and well, that's not really what happened. This is what really happened. I just don't care anymore. And I really like this kind of stuff. I love mystical, you know, factions against each other and getting revenge and all this stuff. There's just been too much.
Yeah, I think it's just there's been too many elements to it, and it kind of it's maybe this issue also feels like not much really happens other than just, you know, Cass has this heart-to-heart with Jaya, who ends up being the one that kind of betrays them, and she explains that, well, you know, this flower, it grows from mud. It can't grow from good soil. It has to grow from like the worst soil ever. But once it reaches the surface, it blooms into this beautiful thing. And she's basically saying that's what Cass is. Like, you come from a dark past, like a dark beginning, but you're important and special and beautiful once you've become full and your destiny's your own. And it just kind of feels like maybe we're kind of regurgitating some of the same kind of core ideas when, you know, looking at like where we've went with these characters, like if we had developed more of a relationship between Cass and Jaya, this might mean more when she betrays. But, you know, we've had Jaya, we've had Nyssa, we've had Angel Breaker, and then there was the shapeshifter character whose name I don't remember, but like she was around as well. It really was maybe a case of like just too many characters and like not enough meaningful advancements in plot over a couple of issues. It just I don't know. I feel like I enjoyed the first arc of this book a lot more now, especially since we're near the end of this arc now, so I can compare them a bit more evenly between them. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, I was finding myself having more just kind of overall critiques of this one as I was reading it.
Yeah, and at the beginning, when they're in like the vision type thing, Jaya tells Cass, "You'll be betrayed again and again and again." You know, and it's who you become through all of that. Like, what are you going to choose? You know, so I do like that messaging and how it works with the lotus flower, that it comes up through the mud and it must poke its way through if it wants to survive. It has to search for the light. and comparing that to Cass is all well and good. But
that's fine. Yeah, I have no problem with that comparison, certainly. But it's just like Bronze Tiger, or not Bronze Tiger, Jade Tiger. That's what he's calling himself.
Jade Tiger.
Yeah, Jade Tiger like goes snooping to try and like be a hero, and he stumbles into like the unburied guys in the cell, who basically just laughs and says, "Oh, my people are already on their way here. We've got underground tunnels. Like we don't have to attack from up above where all your turret guns are. We can attack from within." And they do a whole tense thing where he runs off to try and tell people, and he gets there just at the last second before they appear. And that's when it's revealed at the end that Jaya's like, helped them in here, and that she was always working with them.
Well, I was saying, because he's running to tell Nyssa, and then Angel Breaker's behind him, it's going exactly as planned. And then with Jaya, it's like, well, wait, what is the ultimate goal here? Is this how she's going to take out the Unburied? Is allowing them to come in and take them out here in this, in Samsara? I believe that's the name of it.
Which might mean that Jaya's not betrayed them. She's actually a triple agent.
Right. So that's where it's hard to care, right? Because it's like, okay, well, I'm going to stick on because I need to know where this book goes. And I like Cass because all that development's been really, really good.
Well, no, I mean, I was never in question of like, I never even once considered that I'm like wanting to drop anything. This is just, I'm just kind of done with this arc, and I'm looking forward to her being back in Gotham, doing something a little bit different. I feel like we've been talking about the Unburied for quite a while now.
Yep.
And I don't know if they've gotten any more interesting this arc compared to what they were before.
Well, I feel like they've done the whole heel turn to face from the beginning, because once we find out their past and how they were kind of a peaceful people until Ross showed up, and now because they've been provoked, that's what's caused them to go to war with the Al Ghuls and with Nyssa, and then Nissa's clearly running a whole different plan. I'm almost like, well, no, of course we'd be on their side. They were the ones that were done dirty first. So to go from that, and so I have a hard time rooting against the Unburied, especially not knowing what exactly is going on. Yeah, but from what Brombal's telling us, it's like, well, no, they were the slighted ones, right? They're the the Al Ghuls are bad.
But then you've got him in the jail cell laughing like a villain as he's saying, "Oh, we're going to come and like take it." I don't know. Yeah. I don't really know which side to be on, and I guess the point is that Cass isn't sure what side to be on either. But I'm not feeling that like compelled. I feel just kind of lost in the story as opposed to like, I think this is the sort of thing where you want to be like, oh god, it's tense trying to pick which side we want to root for, but instead of that, I'm just kind of like, I just don't know who to care about right now. Is kind of how I feel. Yeah, no, that's it. I had a Team Cass. That's all I know. All right, like I want her and Kenji to get out unscathed, and we'll be good. Get them back to Gotham, because I want to see the hopefulness of Tenji interact with the surliness of Damien. I feel like those two are contrary to one another. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. I don't really have much more to add, to be honest. I feel sad saying this was kind of my first downer issue of the week, because it wasn't terrible or anything, but it just, no. I wasn't in love with it. So what are you giving Batgirl issue 15? I'm going to give this a 7. I am going to say 6.5.